Welcome to the Voice for Dads podcast.
Hey guys, and welcome to today's episode of Voice for Dads. I'm joined in the studio by a guy that reached out to us on social media, and we are going to share his story, and hopefully we can help here. You know, that this podcast, we set this up with a way of reaching out to people, with people who might have been told things that aren't true, and they will watch our podcasts and start asking questions. So I think that would be the outcome here. But in the studio today, I'm joined by Marty. So hi, Marty.
Hello there, Scott. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Thanks so much for coming into the studio today.
Thank you.
You've been here for a while, observing what goes on behind the scenes.
Certainly have.
Quite chaotic. We were filming our Voice for Dads weekly report, and you watched that as well.
I did. It's an eye-opener. And questions, as you've mentioned, as long as we can get some sort of answers and lead dads in the right manner. That's what I'm here for as well. So I look forward to discussing things. Yeah, that's correct.
We've got Michael here as well, our producer. Hey, Michael.
Hello.
So let's go back to the start. What brought you here?
Ultimately, my daughter Lily. I'm a single dad. Try and tell you the story 60 seconds. Effectively, my ex-partner and myself was up in Perth when she had the baby, which was my daughter. I got asked to leave.
We'll not mention names.
Oh,
so I can just blank out the ones you said already.
No problem. Sorry. So about 4 days after my daughter was born, I got asked to leave. I had no valid reason as to why. And I think the next 3 months of my life was just in limbo, trying to establish, one, what have I done wrong? Why can't I see my daughter? And I started off in the legal process to basically see where I could go. How can I see my kid? Where do I need to go? And that's how my journey had started. Moving forward, I managed to get some sort of supervised contact. That was at a specific centre, and I would build up my time every week. So it turned out from 1 hour eventually up to 4 hours, and the main aim was to see if I could get my daughter overnight. I think that went on for about 6 months, building up over time, and again, because of where I was, I couldn't bring my daughter home because it was over an hour and a half's drive away. And because of the age of my daughter as well, a long drive wasn't beneficial to her. So that was my main reason for contacting the solicitors. Eventually I did get contact, but my ex-partner didn't seem to be very forthcoming with that. One weekend you would be looking forward to seeing your kid. You would get a text message saying that she had foot and mouth. She couldn't see her. Then the following fortnight that you're waiting, another message to say that your kid wasn't feeling well, she had a sore stomach. It's like, well, can't she have a sore stomach with her dad? Can't her dad look after her? So that was really just the kind of start of a downhill spiral, being a dad, being involved in the legal system. Ultimately, there was accusations made. I was pulled into the police station. There was nothing to go into any great detail about, but I was released without charge. And ultimately, because of that, and safety for any child, contact was stopped. Then this leads me on to the long, kind of drawn out story of going to court and having to deal with judges X, Y and Z. The unfortunate thing I feel about that was that I had to prove not only to the justice system, but prove to this person in a wig in front of you that you're worthy to see your own child. And I don't think that that's correct in any form.
Well, I completely agree, and that's something we see every day at Voice for Dads. But let's go back to the start, right? Let's go back to the start without, going on to too much detail.
Yes.
So you met a woman. When did you meet this woman? What year?
I'm trying to think when I was born, 20. It must have been about 2008. So
right, okay.
she was Sorry, my daughter was born in 2010, so
you're with her for a few years.
With her for a few years.
And then the daughter comes along.
Yeah, got engaged. Daughter comes along,
and you said 4 days after she gave birth.
Yes,
that's when you separated.
That's effectively when we separated. Yes.
So in the run up when she was pregnant, before she went into labour, you were in a relationship. Everything was
yes,
fine.
Everything seemed to be fine. Don't get me wrong, I stayed over 100 miles away, an hour and a half's drive, long distance relationship, if you call it that. I didn't have any issues. Things seemed to be fine.
So how often were you seeing each other?
We were seeing each other a couple of times a week.
Right, okay.
In some cases, my ex would come down and she would stay. So, that would be nice. Things were going on really well. But I just felt as soon as my daughter was born, I keep mentioning the 4 days, but that was the time from leaving the hospital, going back to my ex's parents' house, because she didn't have a house of her own. I was asked to leave, and I don't have any
When you say you were asked to leave, I take it was a conversation like, look, I don't want to be with you. Was that the conversation?
It was more a conversation of, I don't want my newly born daughter to be with you, which which was just mind-blowing, because you would think that you would both be overjoyed. You've got a beautiful young baby. Furthermore,
so she basically decided straight away, I don't want my child to have a dad.
That ultimately, I think, is the crux of it, yes.
Right, okay.
And I know it sounds as bizarre as it sounds, Scott, that ultimately is what happened.
Mm-hmm. And how did that feel at that point then? Obviously, you've got this newborn baby. You're up at her house, so you're over 100 miles away from your own home.
Yes.
And you get told to leave. How did that feel?
I felt lost. Again, I know I was 10 years or so younger. I didn't know where to go. Lost was the best word to describe it. I actually drove to the hospital and wanted to speak to one of the midwives, saying, what can I do? And it's irrational from the fact that I had my own car. I couldn't believe that this had happened. And effectively, my only solution was to drive home. Mm-hmm. And as I'm driving home, lots of thoughts going around why have I not allowed to see her? That's the relationship finished. Ultimately, it was all about my daughter. But again,
so you said that you were staying at her parents' house.
That's
you never
correct.
had a house at the time.
Yes.
What were they saying? What was her mum and dad saying to you? What was their reaction?
They were actually very quiet. The mother-in-law, I feel now, was more constructive or less constructive from the fact that she wanted me out of the house.
Or destructive.
Yes. The father didn't really speak much at all. And when I got asked to leave, it was only my ex-partner in the house because her mother and father would be at work.
Right.
So they didn't really seem to be involved, although months down the line, when I think about it, they should have been involved from the fact that they were not supporting their newly born grandkid. That from the fact that they were letting a good man get told to go away. Mm-hmm. Shall we
so
say?
There was no support to you. There's no I'm sorry this has happened. Sorry this hasn't worked out. Or I don't know what's going on. What she's thinking just now. I don't know.
Again, it could have been postnatal depression. Mm-hmm. I'd looked into all of these thoughts, but no communication from our mum and dad whatsoever. It was just blatantly, I don't want you here, go.
Today's episode is sponsored by Nera Luxury Candles. Nera is a local business and their products are handmade, but they are more than just a candle or a wax melt. Each of them come from a place of love with a background and a story. A percentage of each sale goes to supporting addiction and mental health charities. Please visit them on socials, visit their website below. We are proud to be supporting them and have them sponsoring Voice for Dads. Right.
And
so you leave, your daughter's 4 days old. What happens next?
It really took about 2 or 3 weeks, it was just of no contact whatsoever. And I'd actually had been looking into books and trying to get in contact with communities like yourselves. Just lost. I didn't know what to do. I think about 6 or 7 weeks afterwards, I got a phone call from my ex-partner, and it was, "Oh, hello, Marty, how you doing? I think it's time she needs a dad." And I'm like, "Oh, so it's time that she needs a dad now?"
How far away was this actually from the 4 days? Sorry, how
You're
long
talking
had
about
passed?
2 months.
2 months,
About
right? Okay.
8 weeks.
Right,
So
okay.
a minimum of 8 weeks.
And what was your reaction then?
Well, one of disbelief from the fact that I was glad that I had some sort of lifeline, shall we say, but there was so many questions that I wanted to ask. One of the questions that resonates with my sister as well, I hadn't heard from my daughter for 2 months, any updates at all, and I said, "Well, it's nice that you phoned. Could you ask me what colour are his eyes?" Or what
You're doing well
colour?
with the no names, by the way.
Sorry, I know, man. What colour are my...
beep.
I know, sorry about that. What colour are my daughter's eyes? And my ex couldn't even tell me the colour of her eyes. So I kind of thought, well, if you don't know the colour of your own daughter's eyes, there's a problem there. I was more concerned that I was out with her life and I didn't get a chance to go and contact her.
So when you got the phone call 2 months later, did you go straight to see her?
No, I politely declined because I felt that I had 1 foot. Let's just say I had one foot lassoed into the legal journey, and I didn't have
So
any.
you'd already went and sought
Yes,
a lawyer and
I had
legal
spoken to a
representation?
lawyer to see about getting access, and then my ex had phoned. So
Did the lawyer advise you to not go?
no, the lawyer didn't. The lawyer had said to try and to try and establish any form of contact.
Right, okay, that's the part I'm confused by. When I
Yes.
said, did you go? And you said, no, you never. So
Yes.
why not?
I chose not to go at that time because I had no trust whatsoever. And I felt that if I was to go and see my daughter, that I would need someone with me. Because I felt if I had went up, they would suggest that I could go in my hand. "Oh, the wind blows the wrong way. That's domestic abuse. I've raised my voice. I've looked the wrong way. I've been a bad dad. You've not been there for the past 8 weeks. Oh, I wonder why. Because you've asked me, you've told me to stay away." So I really just was looking out after myself.
So had your full perception of her changed then? Whereby you didn't trust her and...
Yeah, it was almost as much as flipping the coin from the fact that we were due to get married, have a kid, the kid's born, and then everything gets turned on its head.
Right, okay.
The person that I thought I loved, I can tell you right now, if I was to go anywhere near someone like that just now, there's no way I'd want to marry them. I don't want to marry a woman that's going to prevent her kid from being with her dad for no reason. So if I did know, in hindsight, that's the true person, I don't think we would have been together for long. However, that's in the past, and one of the massive positives that's came out of it's our daughter.
Yeah. So what happened next then? 8 weeks, you get asked, I want you to be in her life. What's the next step?
Yeah, it was positive. I got a friend from Ayrshire and we travelled up. We went on motorbikes. It was a nice sunny day and we travelled up to see our daughter. It was lovely. We got invited into, my ex had a new house or a new flat.
So you did go and see her,
So
but
I
you
did.
took someone with you?
Yes.
Right.
And that went really well. Got some pictures with her. Had a little time alone when she made a cup of tea for my friend. Everything was fine. I thought that was initially going to be the next stepping stone moving forward. Again, I think next couple of weeks, bearing in mind now, my ex is letting me see my daughter, but I'm trying to get some sort of thing put into writing to say that this needs to be consistent. Because in between times I'm getting a text message saying, that's nice, you had a great time, please don't go to court. And I'm thinking, why are you even texting me? Please don't go to court.
So she's actually asking you not to go to court?
Yes.
Before you go any further, what happened with the birth certificate?
Yeah, when my daughter was born, straight home from hospital, once she was tended to, everyone was healthy, and I got escorted down, I suppose like any couple, not that you would be escorted, but my ex and her father went down to the registry office, and her father was present to make sure that when we put our names in the birth certificate, it was a double-barreled surname. I don't really...
Being your surname and his surname?
That's correct, yes.
And how many days after she was born did this happen?
That was like the second or third day.
Right, okay, very interesting. Because if her plan all along was to just use you to have a child, you would expect her to have waited until she asked you to leave, and then she could have went herself. And you not be on the birth certificate, which shouldn't be allowed, but she could have done that.
Yes, there was potential for that also, which led me to believe that I feel that my daughter's grandparents from my ex's side were, I don't know if parental alienation, but they were coaching her to some extent to not like her dad, to not want to go and see
There
dad.
were decent people who'd step in and say, no, our granddaughter needs her mum and her dad.
Yeah, that's true.
If they were looking out for their grandchild.
It would be, yeah.
Right, okay, so what happens next then? So you get to see her, and then you start getting texts saying she's...
Yeah,
unwell.
it's more or less, like, you think things, you've got your positives, it's going well, you're getting a minimal time with her. So I'm trying to deal with that as a dad, driving away from her flat where she was dressed with a little pumpkin head, for Halloween, and I'm driving away, literally crying. I mean, I'm not embarrassed to say, but it's just full of emotion. I'm driving away, leaving my daughter with an ex-partner, and I'm driving home to my own home.
Not sure when you're going to see her again.
Not sure when I'm going to see her again. That really led me on to my journey. The next step was supervised visits. It was the only rational and safe way. And I say safe way, it was more safe way from a dad's point of view, because I felt that any time that I did go up to visit, my ex's mother-in-law would pop round for a cup of tea. Now, I found that very strange from the fact that if I'm only there every 2 weeks, whether
long?
it's for 1 hour or 4 hours maximum, she would be in the front garden cutting the grass. She would nip round for a cup of tea. That's 4 hours of dad's time. Mother-in-law doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
It's my ex's house. Again, that's another little piece of the puzzle that I felt was an outside influence. It was making it harder for me to leave because my daughter didn't want to see Gran upset. But Gran was upset because Dad was there. It's
So
like
Gran was visibly upset because you were there.
Yeah, I would have said so, yeah.
So were they the kind of parents, or did they have the relationship with their daughter, your ex, that some would say was quite unhealthy? Bit too close.
I would say at some point, yes. At some point there must have been some personal issues there.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
these
know.
mums, you get who their best friend's their daughter, but sometimes it's to their detriment.
Yeah, it's like, I always remember my daughter when I did see her, she was maybe 8-9 months old, maybe a little older. It's very hard to remember back. But when I got a chance again to go to her mum's home, and she said, oh, you can go and take your daughter, go and take her and she'll show you your room and her toys. But all her toys were her mother-in-law's toys, which I thought was very strange from the fact that...
All her toys were her grand's toys?
Yes.
Right.
It was a bit unusual, but just to let all the dads out there know as well, when I was invited back to my ex's house to see my little girl, she introduced me to her new boyfriend who was sitting in the living room. And I just shook his hand and I went, "Pleased to meet you, pal." And that was it.
What age was your daughter at that point?
I'm guessing round about a year and a half.
Wow.
But
So
the
you've got a random stranger who can be around your daughter
yes,
24/7.
that's correct.
Yeah.
That's what was frustrating. However, and as I say to all the dads out there, the reality, that was her boyfriend, but as you've mentioned, Scott, her boyfriend hasn't been vetted. He could be a robber, he could be anything. But my main point was, she did that to try and incite me or to make me do something. And I think she got the wrong reaction. And I also found out from my daughter a few weeks later, my daughter would say, I'm not going to say the guy's name because I'm not good with him, but my daughter would say that such and such shouts at mummy. And I'm thinking, so a 1.5-year-old's telling me that your boyfriend's shouting at or boyfriend shouting at mummy.
Strange.
And I'm just going, it's okay, don't worry. This is when I'm handing my daughter back. So this is obviously an innocent young kid at the time telling me that she can see things happening in the family life that is out with having a dad figure there. And sadly, I think that's when the parental alienation started throughout times.
So go back to 2-month-old, your daughter being 2-month-old. You said you'd already sought legal representation or advice.
Yes.
What happened there? You went down to she's more than a year old. You're seeing her regularly. Your ex is asking you not to go to court. What happens basically in that first year and a half of your daughter's life with legal help?
Legal help, it was... Again, it was all new to me, still to some extent it is just now, but it was more speaking to a solicitor up in Perth. It had to be in that jurisdiction because that's where the baby was born and stuff like that. So it took a lot longer for myself to understand the legal aspects because I would have to travel up to Perth just to see a solicitor. So I was in Perth. It practically was like my second home, but my daughter was only 10 minutes away and I wouldn't be able to see her. You know, that was quite hard.
Just visiting a solicitor?
Just visiting a solicitor, yeah. But to answer your point, regarding the solicitor, she wanted to get some welfare hearings put in place to make sure that obviously the kid is the most important thing and make sure that the
so I
kid's
take it
safe.
you're still seeing your daughter, although it's, a pathetic amount of time, an hour every 2 weeks, whatever. So you're still seeing your daughter and you've got legal help coinciding with that. So
that's correct.
So they're aware that, you are seeing your daughter, but we need to take action here for you to be in her life properly.
Yes, that's correct.
Right, okay.
There was also an issue regarding the CSA, and I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn, but I must have been the only dad in the UK that's actually demanded that I pay for my daughter. And I said that I am paying because I remember it was a welfare meeting, and I'd said to my ex-partner, look, what exactly do you want me to do? I said, I've done everything that the legal requirements have asked me to do. I've been committed to our daughter. I said, and I've also been financially committed. What do you want me to do? I went, walk away? No chance. It was very funny that, see, the day after that welfare meeting, I got a phone call from the CSA to tell me that my ex had cancelled payments. She was refusing to take payments from me to our daughter. I'm quite glad she was refused because since then I got legal advice and I've been putting money away in a bank every single week, and it's in a trust fund for her. Dad's groups as well have told me that on the bank statements, as long as it says your daughter's name and the word maintenance, because some people have got caught out with that. So I can hold my head high that there is money there for my daughter when she's old enough.
Yeah.
But it's just another reason to be pushed away or to make things difficult for.
Yeah,
Ultimately,
she refuses the money. It's just another way of cutting you out completely.
yes, I feel that she's went away and they've had discussions. Oh, we don't need his money. Well, he's not paid. That's another reason we don't need him.
Yeah.
I just feel that's preposterous, to be honest with you. Even if I had £1 to my name, I'd still be a good dad. I've been brought up that way with old-fashioned manners. So
how's contact working out then? So you're seeing her regularly?
yes,
Where do we go from there?
things were going well. The big step for me was, it seemed to be everything was fine from my ex's point of view. We were going out every couple of weeks. This was my daughter, myself and my friends, whoever. We would take her out for up to 4 hours. But the big step for me was to get my daughter overnight down in Ayrshire at my home so she can spend time with her dad.
Her home as well.
Her home, yeah. Just meaning like her home, as well as she's got a home at her mum's and a home at her dad's and her gran and grandpa down in Ayrshire. So that was the next step, that as soon as I mentioned extending contact with my daughter, I would get the blockers. It would be like a text message to say she's not well or this or that. And I had no other option than to go to court because we had tried mediation.
Was that quite regular? So she's not well, so you can't see her?
It happened about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And because I was only having contact every 2 weeks, 2 little excuses, you've not seen your kid there for nearly 3 months.
Yeah.
So it's quite hard, especially because she's so young. But I suppose what did keep me going as well, the positives about her being so young, when you do see her, a kid at that age, they don't resonate time as much.
Yeah, she's not aware.
So she's not aware. And if I had 1 hour or 4 hours, I would cram everything into it. We would have had a great time.
Yeah.
You know, it would be like any dad, you would spend time going to the beach, going swimming, all things like, you know, the dads would love doing with their kid.
That is one of the common things that these parent alienators cry, isn't it? That they're not well, so you can't see them. Nonsense.
Yes,
they're not well, so they're not well with dad. Just the same way they're not well with mum. Makes no difference. No difference whatsoever.
That's
It
true.
infuriates me. Right, so timescales. What age is your daughter when you're still seeing her?
3.5 or just after 3. Things were going well. Overnight visits
So you
every
got
fortnight.
overnight?
I got overnight visits.
Was that through
That
court?
was through court, yes.
Right, okay.
So went to court, and I had got overnight visits with, I think it was to get reviewed after a year or something like that. I might be wrong, but there was a review to extend potential.
What was the court-ordered contact? How often?
It was every fortnight from, I would pick my daughter up at 4:30 on a Friday and return her back home for 6 p.m. on a Sunday. So we'd have her Friday night, Saturday night, up early, she gets her toast, says bye-bye to family and friends, and back up the road, and I would drop her off.
A disgusting, pathetic excuse of time to spend with your dad. You know, it should be 50-50.
That would have said.
And I'll never stop fighting for that. It should be 50-50.
What I found very, very difficult as well, when I asked the court to extend the time, because this was prior to my overnights, I extend the time from 4 hours to 6. All I was asking was for another 120 minutes, and it was so that my daughter could see our only living great-grandmother down in Ayrshire.
Right.
And I remember sitting in the court, and it's obviously not a nice atmosphere. You're very isolated. You're standing there. You're questioning yourself. I don't know why, because I've got the confidence now. You know, it's like I know I'm a good person inside. You're trying to batter all of these questions and doubts away. But I put it forward that I wanted my daughter to come down to spend time and meet her great grandmother. and my ex's family had put forward, they said no because my gran had dementia, which I think is just disgusting in itself. And
So you went to the court to ask to get more time with your daughter?
Yes.
So she could see her only living great-gran?
Great-gran, yes.
And then her side said, no, we're not letting that happen because she's got dementia anyway, so does it matter, pretty much?
More or less, yes. And to this day, the judge in that room, I don't know his name.
Sorry to butt in. I'm really sorry to butt in.
Okay.
So she said that to her lawyer, and I take it the lawyers then vocalised that.
Yeah.
So the lawyer stood up and actually said that. Some of these lawyers are disgusting, aren't they? Don't have any morals.
No, again, it's a corrupt. I just feel the whole system, they've no empathy or feeling regarding this is a kid or this is a family. There's emotions.
Scooch over a wee bit next to that mic. That's you, mate. That's
So yeah, I just feel it's disgusting. But as a dad, you've just got to put up with it. Ultimately, there's no backing down. However,
so what happened then when they said no?
When they said no, I was thinking, well, you know, what's going to happen? I had discussions, a short discussion with my solicitor, and I was just saying to her, look, that's what it is. I'm not, no airs or graces. I need my daughter to come down because of the reasons of her great-gran. And the judge, for once in my life, he actually sided against my ex-partner. He had asked me directly, he said, Mr. Johnston, would you have someone in the car with your daughter? I said, of course. My own father, Dougie would be there to watch her. We're not driving in rush hour either. And he said, I always remember him saying, well, Mr. Johnston, if you can drive to the courtroom and return in a safe manner, I think you could do the same with your daughter and she'll meet her great-grandmother. And he did and I just thought brilliant, you know. So it was for once, and all the kind of negative things that you hear, I thought this guy's actually, and I'd never seen him again, so I don't know what judge it was, but the right decision was made, and we had a great time and lots of pictures, and it's memories that will never be taken away, Scott. Never.
Meanwhile, she's sitting on the other side with a solicitor going, damn, we tried to block that. Disgusting human beings.
Yeah, really. That's the sickening thing.
Yeah. Awful. Right, so 3.5 then. What happened when she was 3.5? Yeah,
this is the kind of the painful part. 3.5, I got a chap at my front door. It was the Kilmarnock police. We need you to come into the station. Handcuffed me, took me into the station. I said, what's this for? Didn't even tell me what it was for. I was handcuffed in the cells. We'll speak to you and such and such. And all I had in my head was, I think this was on a Wednesday night, and I'm like, I need to get my daughter because I pick her up on a Friday. I pick her up at 4:30 on a Friday. And I'm like, listen, I need my phone call or whatever. And it turned out that they had made allegations against me when I had changed my daughter's nappy, that I had touched my daughter. And it's a disgusting thing to even suggest. You've got to watch what you say. Well, yes, I did touch my daughter because I changed her nappy, but that can be perceived in so many different disgusting ways. And because of that, they kept me in for 48 hours. And I was released, need I add, with no charge. And since then, this is the blow. I've not seen my daughter. I had to go back to court to try and establish a recontact. But the ball it was never rolling again because of said allegation that I was acquitted. There was nothing.
Sorry, I just lost him in my ears, Michael. Is that okay?
That's it.
That is cool. Right, so much to talk about here, but it's horrendous. Unfortunately, familiar as well.
Yes.
So, you go back to court. You've not been charged with anything. No further action?
No further action, that's correct.
So what happens next? You go back to court and you're saying, I want to see my daughter again.
Yes. It was effectively... if I can remember correctly, I had to go back to court to say I want to reinstate contact. They're saying, oh, no, because I'm a bad man, but I'm not. So there was correspondence, this and that. And it turned out that I had to get, that there was a decision made by the court, by a postal decision saying no contact is in the best interests of the said child because of the conflict between the two parents. And I thought, how's a no contact order warranted? So I appealed.
This was a postal decision, did you say there?
I think it was done by post.
So you weren't in court in front of a sheriff when they said this to you?
Sorry, that had happened, yes.
Right,
that had happened prior.
Right.
I do apologise. It's difficult to remember.
It's what happens. So you go to court. Do you remember then what happened that day when you heard the sheriff say those words? And why they said those words?
I remember when he said them, why he said them. I've got deep down anger, to be honest with you, because if he was the man that he should be, and I'm saying a man, not even a judge, a parent, and I know he's a parent, he would have questioned. They always say that you've got to have beyond
reasonable doubt.
Reasonable doubt, yeah, it was beyond reasonable doubt. I don't think it was explained or expressed enough that I was just a dad wanting to spend time with his daughter. You know?
So there must have been some reason given.
Yeah, I think the reason in writing was down to the conflict. It wasn't to do with it. The allegation had been acquitted or whatever, but they were concerned about the conflict because any time my ex-partner and myself were together, there would be some sort of, not violence, but there would be raised voices, there would be shouting, there would be, something that in all respects would detriment a kid seeing that.
So what, that happened when you were going for contact to see your daughter?
Yes, it did, yes.
For 3 years that happened?
It happened for about just over a year.
Why?
This was my ex-partner making it hard for me to pick up my kid.
Right.
Like, Gran would be round in the house when it's time to hand over the little one, and it's like, don't go, Granny will miss you, but you need to go because Daddy's out there, and the man in the wig says that Daddy's to take the little one.
Actually saying that?
Literally, but
to a 3-year-old?
Yeah.
2-year-old?
Yeah, that's the terrible thing.
So let's go back to the nappy situation.
Yes.
Because if a child is young enough to be in nappies, in what way are they old enough to articulate that they've been touched inappropriately while getting changed?
I would have thought they would have had to have been a little bit older, not that at the age, because kids are very, very clever. And I know my daughter, when she picked up about her ex's boyfriend, but I just felt that I felt sick to my stomach that the actual terminology that they were using was getting put in a kid's mouth. And again, she was speaking, but I don't think she had the vocabulary to...
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting at here. So what evidence did you see that where this claim come from? She was obviously, they were saying it happened just in your care.
Yes. It was the only evidence was what they said versus what I said. So
this is apparently happened one of the weekends that you had her down at your house.
Yeah.
Right. So you've gave her back, and then I take it, has it been the weekend prior to the Wednesday when you got the chap at the door with the police?
Yeah, so it's like if I picked her up from a Friday and I would hand her back on a Sunday, hand her back on the Sunday, the following week would be the week that I don't see her.
Yeah.
And then the following week would be the week that I would spend time with her.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. But if something was off, why didn't they speak to the police when I handed her back? They waited until about the Tuesday or the Wednesday before I was picking her up again.
Well, so this is what I'm getting at. Then. So this hadn't happened from the Wednesday you got arrested. It wasn't the weekend prior, but the weekend prior to that you last had her.
That's correct.
Because you were expected to get her that Friday. Right,
yes,
got you.
Yes.
So was there a statement? Was there a recording? Like, how do they even approach a 3-year-old claiming this?
I would agree that there was child welfare reports, but my daughter was so young. I believe when she gave the statement, my ex was in the same room. But I heard from the lawyer that when my daughter was getting questioned, my ex, she was getting questioned about her dad, and then she got asked to go to the toilet. Her mum said, "Oh, I need to take such and such to the toilet."
Uh-huh.
And as soon as she come back in the room, the little one had said, "Oh, my ex says, oh, tell the officer what you have to say.
Uh-huh.
Tell the officer. Oh, Daddy touched me and it was red." And I'm thinking, that's just a really coincidence that you were out there with your mum and you've just walked in and you've got something to say.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like being coercive, but it's just...
that is horrendous.
It's horrendous, mate. It really is.
And how did you hear this? I take it they would have put this to you in a police interview, I'm guessing.
I don't even think I was interviewed by the police. Do you know that? To this day, I genuinely, I'm not entirely sure. Well, sorry, I would have been interviewed if I was put into the overnight. That's fine. I just feel if they basically, they didn't want this girl to have a dad, and they were trying anything to get me put and locked away. And I genuinely feel it was beyond that point of this boy is all right, we'll say anything. And that's when it started. I still to this day, it's quite scary, but I've got nothing to hide. So
it's not new to me hearing stories like this, unfortunately. And at Voice for Dads, we have now heard of men being falsely accused of rape, and that is a way to get them out of the child's life. We've heard of the domestic abuse. That's the way of getting them out of the child's life. And then this inappropriate, behaviour, paedophilia, the hell you would call it, like going that low.
Yeah.
To remove a dad from a child's life. Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. So, so much to take in. It's just awful. So the non-contact order gets issued.
Yeah, this is...
What do you do next?
It's like rewinding the tape, Scott. See, to be fair, when I got this letter, I'm thinking... As a dad, I'm reading it and going, no, this can't be right. No, this isn't happening. So it was a bit in denial. But then when I seen it, I was like, no, I've got to appeal this, or there's got to be something else.
Mm-hmm.
Spoke to the solicitor or the lawyer people, and they said that I could appeal, but I would have to get an advocate and go to the Edinburgh, the big fancy place in Edinburgh that they all hang about with their wigs. That's just my genuine opinion on them.
I don't know where you would go in Edinburgh. It's just family courts.
The family courts.
Yeah.
So I was halfway on the train to Edinburgh, and I got told that one of the lady judges, wasn't feeling very well, and she'd had diarrhea. So more or less, I had to just. No, I know.
I actually said that to you.
That's what they said on the phone. So I had to get off at Waverley, jump back on, and come home.
Right.
£800.
That's what it cost you.
Oh, but it gets better. 2 weeks later, I get a letter, all nice and typed as well, from my ex's solicitor, actually wanting me to pay for additional legal costs because it's been postponed. And to this day, actually, I think I had to pay it. It was about £1,500. So the family courts have cost me about £2,300 because somebody had diarrhea. And it just shows you my confidence in the family courts. I know I'm laughing, but it's either laugh or cry because you've got to have a bit of humour
How
to
much
get
did you
you
spend in
through.
legal fees?
In excess of £40,000.
Yeah.
And that's with the court saying, we've looked at it again, no.
Yeah, so you appealed it.
I appealed as
You're
well.
in Edinburgh.
That's correct, yes.
And then you're going to Edinburgh, and obviously you went back again when the judge was feeling better.
Yes.
And what happened? Was it just one hearing?
Yeah, it was one hearing. There was 3 judges, I think, and there was an advocate that was working on my behalf. But I think I'll have to look into my case, but what they said at that day, they ruled against whatever, they ruled against
dismissed your
contact.
appeal.
They dismissed my appeal. And then I got told by the advocate, if my appeal was won, it would have changed the law, and there would have been thousands of fathers on behind me doing the same thing.
Because they're ruling against one of their colleagues, aren't they? And they're
Yes.
saying that what the colleague done was wrong. And that opens up a whole can of worms.
That's correct,
Yeah,
yes.
so they were never going to
So,
grant your appeal.
it's very bitter to feel that way and going, should I have appealed or should I not have? In reality now, and it's good that I can vent and speak to yourself and dads with knowledge, it's just feeding the system.
Yep.
But as a dad, you've got to look in the mirror and ask yourself whether you've got £1 or 500,000. If you've got 1% chance of getting to see your kid, my personal opinion is you'd go for it.
Oh, there's
no
you
doubt.
never give up, no.
Yeah.
If the dads do give up, then they aren't worthy of being dads, in my opinion.
Yes.
So when you go to Edinburgh, did they give you an inclination then of why they were rejecting the appeal? Or I'm still looking for something here of why this was put in place?
Yes. They didn't give me any inclination. I'd have to look back at the case notes. It's been so many years that I've got them in a big bundle and I've put them in a box. I felt like burning them, but no, it's genuinely, it's all that I took from that was
You mentioned distance to me.
it was
earlier.
yes, they had mentioned it was distance and conflict, but down in paper, the reason for no contact was because I was the non-resident parent and I stayed over 100 miles away. So they were saying no contact. And I still can't comprehend why that's accepted.
Yeah.
But that's obviously been looked at.
Well, the no contact, the resident parent thing shouldn't be a thing. That needs to get changed in this country. There should just be 2 resident parents.
Yes, I would agree.
That's it.
Yes.
That's the way it needs to be.
Of course, yes.
Doesn't need to get any more complicated than that. So that's something that needs to change. So your daughter's 3.5 last time you seen her. What age is she now?
She'll be 15. She turns 16 on the 13th of March next year. And I'm quite happy. I've celebrated her birthdays every year, even when she's not here. My sister's got a young son that was born on the same day, actually. He's 7, so he'll be 8 on the 13th. And I'm very, very proud to be an uncle. And that's helped me through a lot of hard times, knowing that I've got a family that are there to support me and love me as a son, as well as a dad and an uncle. So, yeah, that's... it's something that next year is a massive step for me because I know that my daughter will be out there somewhere and all I want her to know is that she has a dad. Her dad's here, he's in Ayrshire and he's got friends and family that would love to meet her again.
Yeah.
And my door will always be open. I know that'll be a lot to take in for a young child at 16. I'm not pressurising anyone, but I'm not going to go away either. My door will always be open, and I just hope that speaking to your good self and Michael and the other gents, we can try and raise awareness.
Yep.
And stay strong together, because that's what it comes down to. I know I will not get those 10 years back. God willing, I'll get a further 10, 20 years being healthy, and I can give something back to my daughter when she needs me.
Yeah.
That's my mentality,
you do
know.
definitely take help from others. Strength comes in numbers, and you have taken some steps already to help other dads, haven't you?
I've tried, yes.
Tell us about that.
A few years ago, I went to a company called Families Need Fathers Scotland. It was in Glasgow. We'd meet up once a month. I think they're now called Both Parents Matter. Again, a charity. As times evolve, the names evolved. Both Parents Matter, because it's not about segregating. It's not about wives and husbands. It's about parents. They helped me. A little bit of legal advice, a little bit of mental and social advice also, which was good. And to help them, I suggested that I did some running on the 10K, and I actually did, I think it was a 10K in Edinburgh. I don't know if you've got a wee picture that you might see, but there was 10K in Edinburgh, myself and another 2 dads, and we wore the T-shirts that said Families Need Fathers. There you go. I'm looking quite healthy there. Got my Superman band on as well. That was at the bottom of the hill at the very start of the race.
Right.
That's why I'm looking kind of fresh-faced. That's why I'm smiling, yeah. And I just straight at the cameraman, took a picture. And then I think after that I had 6 miles to go. So there we go.
That's good then. So that charity that is now called Both Parents Matter.
That's correct, yes. I think that's the name that they go through in Scotland, but there's Shared Parenting Scotland also. Yeah. I'm not sure if they're all linked in together, but ultimately they're there to help dads and help us all. Or if you're in the wrong direction, they would push you in another direction.
Bothparentsmatter.org.uk.
Yeah. So they've certainly helped me over many years. And again, if they can't help you, they would point you to another well-known group like yourselves, just for help that way.
No, that's great. Then tell us about your T-shirt you're wearing.
Yeah, my T-shirt, without getting into too much detail, I've got little headphones here because music is a big part of my life, and that's reflecting my daughter, what my daughter's called. There's a nice white colour there because I believe that the meaning of that flower, it's purity and innocence. And I think any child, whether it's a boy or a girl, has purity and innocence. And to get that taken away is just, it's indescribable. Yeah. There's some colours here just to brighten it up a little, and there's a little message there at the top that I'm hoping people can read. But for me, it's all about listening. No pressure for me. I'm not jumping in. You must come and see me. You must do this. You can do it in your own time. I just want you to be proud of me and proud that you have a dad. Some children don't even have a father.
Absolutely.
But no, thanks for asking that. Yeah. So that just hits home, that message, you know.
So given your daughter's age and the fact she's going to be 16 next year, she's obviously 18 in a couple of years and is an adult. But at her age just now, she is listened to, you know, as a teenager. So if she wants to reach out to you now, she can. Yes,
she could reach out through social media platforms, send me a letter by post. If she doesn't have my address, she can send it to the town I live in. Postman Pat will find me. Yeah. In this day and age.
And that's just it. This day is coming where she'll want to start asking questions.
Yes.
And nothing that our mum can do can stop that.
No, as I said, it's a massive step for myself as a dad, but it spurs me on to remain healthy, remain humbled, and remain grounded. And I've learned that, and I say the word learned because it is a learning process from meeting gentlemen like yourself and dads that, need I say, they've been in worse circumstances than myself. They've maybe lost a child. It really is a can of worms when you can go into it. But ultimately, my daughter will be her own person. She can make her own decisions. And there'll be nobody with any wigs to say, oh, you can't go and do this or you can't do that, whether they've got an upset stomach or not, So,
and that's just that this day, I think I've actually thought about it for a couple of times now about what to call it, this revolutionary day, this kind of discovery day whereby a child grows up and just wants to meet their parent, typically their dad, and ask questions, because I went through that as well, and there's nothing that the other parent can do to stop it. So it's good that that's getting closer, to that age, she's and hopefully she does see this, hopefully she does want to reach out. There's charities she can contact as well, because she might be in the house and feels that she can't speak to her mum, because she's scared of the reaction.
Yeah, that's understandable. Also,
so she'll be
yes.
kind of sheltered in a way and isolated.
Yes.
So there's charities that she can reach out to. Bernardo's is one of them. If she needs help finding you, but then if she wants to find you tomorrow, she can just message us at Voice for Dads.
No, that's brilliant, Scott. Brilliant.
So this I hope, given her age, that she wants to at least meet you to hear your side of the story.
No, I hope so.
And she only knows one.
My sister as well. I just need to mention my sister briefly, and I think quite a lot of dads might do this. Just going back to whether you have contact or you don't. And it's quite a simple idea, and I would like to share it with everyone. And I have a treasure chest, so it could be like a pirate's chest if you've got a boy, or it's got a wee pink unicorn on it for a girl, whatever. But in the birthdays and the Christmases that I've not been there as the bad dad, I still think about my daughter. I still love her. I still have bought a little thing. I've taken a picture. I've did a little voicemail or whatever. And I've put them all into this little treasure chest. My sister calls it the memory box. Call it what you will. And the funny thing, and I do laugh, but it's a great idea. I would write her, and I've not wrote a letter, a handwritten letter, in many a year before COVID. But I would write a letter to my daughter, how I'm doing, what I'm up to. Your nephew has learned to walk, or all the kind of stuff like that. And we're celebrating his birthday now, as we will, thinking of you. But I would sign it, seal it, but I would address it and I would post it to my own house. Because the point is, I've got a bunch of letters for my daughter that are sealed and they're in her memory box. Because if I send them up to Perth, they could get ripped up. They could get burned, they could get whatever. So at the end of the day, that's another story. But
they're all there for
Mummy, why did Daddy no write to me? Or why did Daddy never speak to me? Well, there's part of your story. I'm no blaming Mummy, but there's all your letters, or there's... So it's kind of like a physical... It's more for a dad's point of view and remaining mentally strong, and that's kind of saying, well, there you go, that's the little present, and you can have that when the time's right, and then there's no pressure, So I just felt it was important to bring really that up.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Like that, cheers.
And I just hope that she reaches out soon. I really do. There's something else I was going to say there. It slipped my mind.
16 next year, and I again, I've no doubt she will be using platforms and social media. There's so many nowadays. And I'm very grateful for you letting me come on to the podcast, because, again, at least you can hear my side of the story, shall we say. And just to touch on it briefly, when you mentioned whether she's 16, 18, 21, I don't have the answers, and neither will your good self. It's really just, as long as she knows that I'm here and I'm healthy and I'm still, my door's open for her.
The time will come.
Time will come,
Yeah.
So,
is your mum and dad still with us?
Yes, I'm very fortunate that my parents are still here.
So then, there we go, she's got grandparents you can see as well.
Yeah, grandparents, and she's got
an auntie, she's got a
auntie and a
nephew.
couple of nephews.
Cousins, sorry.
Yeah, it's cousins, sorry. Yep, a couple of cousins now.
Yep.
So yeah, there's family and friends down here. And,
Yep.
I don't think Ayrshire is as exotic as up at St Andrews and stuff like that, but it can
Ayrshire's
be.
the best in Scotland, what are you talking about? No, that's great. I really hope that it's good. It's good that you can vocalise just now the family she's got waiting for her. The door's open at any point that she decides to.
Need I
watch
say
the
as
movies.
well, it's very important that I would say the family that she is with, I have got no bad mouthing or bad words. You've kept her well, you've fed her, you've watered her. That's all I'm interested in. I'm her dad. Need I say any more?
Well said.
That's
Well
it.
said.
Thanks, Scott. Thank you.
Well, I think on that note, anything else, Dad?
No, thank you very much. It's just that I've said everything that you've gave me the opportunity, and it's been an insight as well. I just hope that if there's any dads out there that take just a little bit of information from myself, feel free to get in touch with yourselves, and I'll get in touch with them personally if I can help them out. I'm more than happy to.
Fantastic. Michael, all good?
All good.
Perfect. Right, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Voice for Dads. If you want to get in touch with us, please go to our website at voicefordads.co.uk. You can fill out the Contact Us form. You can go to any of our social media and you can contact us directly there as well. Thank you so much to Marty for coming on today. Thank you to Michael for producing this podcast. And please like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our podcast on our YouTube channel because it really does help us a lot. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Speak to you all soon. Take care.